Biafra Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, currently detained at Kilamakoski Correctional Health Center, returned the medals he won for Nigeria during his athletic career. The medals were sent to Nigerian President Bola Tinubu via DHL, symbolizing Simon Ekpa's complete disassociation from Nigeria. The parcel included a 2003 African Junior Silver Medal, an ExxonMobil Gold Medal, and multiple ExxonMobil Silver Medals. Simon Ekpa stated he retained any medals not directly associated with Nigeria. The medal return is seen as a symbolic gesture that may be used in Simon Ekpa's upcoming trial in May 2025 as potential evidence of his disconnection from Nigeria, possibly to challenge his allegiance in court. The issue has gained international attention, with discussions reportedly taking place between the presidents of Finland, the United States, and a US politician named Mike Johnson, who supports the United States of Biafra movement. Meanwhile, in Anambra State, a member of a vigilante group shot and killed a woman at a traffic jam while trying to force cars to move. The operative was arrested by the Nigerian police. The Nigerian army revealed that only 200 people from the southeast applied to join, showing a significant lack of interest from the southeast region in serving in the Nigerian military. Meanwhile, a critic has criticized the Nigerian military for being poorly structured and underfunded, suggesting this as a reason for low enlistment, particularly in the southeast. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, arrested 40 alleged internet fraudsters in Niger State. However, the seized items, like generators, motorcycles and phones, drew public ridicule for lacking real evidence of fraud. Julia Inji, daughter of ABC Transport founder Frank Inji, has been declared wanted by the Nigerian Police Cyber Unit for alleged cybercrime. It is suggested that Simon Ekpa's return of medals and symbolic separation from Nigeria may be part of a broader legal strategy to distance himself from the state and build a case for his political actions or beliefs. Details are still emerging, and her guilt or innocence remains unclear. I still remember the first time I heard about Biafra Prime Minister Simon Ekpa's athletic achievements. He was a shining star on the track, carrying the hopes of many young Nigerians as he raced past finish lines and mounted podiums. Today, however, he has taken a step that even his fiercest critics did not see coming. From the confines of Kilamakoski Correctional Health Center in Finland, Simon Ekpa has chosen to return every medal he earned while representing the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He packed a parcel and entrusted it to an international courier, directing it to Nigerian President Bola Tinubu. As I reflect on this gesture, I find myself both fascinated and intrigued by the layers of meaning it carries: personal, political, legal, and symbolic. Simon Ekpa's detention at Kilamakoski Correctional Health Center has drawn attention across continents. He is accused of plotting to destabilize Nigeria by advocating for an independent Republic of Biafra, and the Finnish authorities have him in custody while they weigh extradition requests and security concerns. In the midst of these serious charges, he has managed to send back to Nigeria a set of medals he won for the nation, as if to draw a clear line under his past identity. It is not every day that you hear of someone rejecting the honors they once proudly displayed. Yet that is exactly what Simon Ekpa has done, and it speaks volumes about the depth of his current convictions. To understand the full impact of Simon Ekpa's actions, it helps to recall his sporting career. In 2003, he stood on the podium at the African Junior Athletics Championships and accepted a silver medal in track and field for Nigeria. Later, he captured a gold medal under the sponsorship of ExxonMobil in a major Nigerian track and field tournament, followed by 3 silver medals at events also backed by the global energy company. These were not minor local meets. They represented the highest levels of competition available to young athletes in Nigeria at the time. When Simon Ekpa trained under the green and white colors of his country, he was a national hero to many aspiring sprinters and jumpers. On the morning he sent off his parcel, Simon Ekpa gathered all the medals he had won while competing under the Nigerian flag. He placed the 2003 African Junior Silver Medal, the ExxonMobil Track and Field Gold Medal, and the 3 ExxonMobil Track and Field Silver Medals into a single package. He left behind any awards that had no direct connection to Nigeria, making clear that his gesture was specifically about severing ties with the country he once served on the athletic field. By tapping into the services of DHL, he ensured that the parcel would reach the hand of the nation's president, Bola Tinubu, who received it just a few days ago. The inclusion of proof of delivery in Simon Ekpa's public statement only deepened the drama of the moment. I can imagine the moment when a representative of President Bola Tinubu opened the box and saw those medals inside. What was once a symbol of national pride now stood as a testament to disassociation. Simon Ekpa's announcement that every tie between me and Nigeria, both in sports, spiritually, and physically, is hereby cut off completely, reads like a manifesto. It is rare for someone to renounce communal achievements with such clarity and finality. Even more unusual is the timing. With his trial scheduled to begin in May of 2025, Simon Ekpa's move may well be part of a broader legal strategy designed to challenge assertions about his nationality or his allegiance to Nigeria. Legal experts tell me that if Simon Ekpa can show that he has formally rejected the symbols and honors of Nigeria, he might be able to argue that he no longer recognized any authority emanating from Abuja. Whether that argument will hold water in a court of law is anyone's guess, but it certainly adds an imaginative twist to a case already heavy with political implications. The Finnish government, which must decide whether to honor Nigeria's extradition request, will no doubt take notice of this gesture. It could be seen as evidence of Simon Ekpa's determination to carve out a separate identity, one unmoored from the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Beyond the legal arena, this act has reverberated in diplomatic circles. Reports suggest that Finland's President Alexander Stubb and Finland's Foreign Ministry have been in touch with Nigerian officials to discuss the case. In addition, during a meeting on March 31, 2025, between United States President Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. and President Alexander Stubb, the topic of Simon Ekpa's situation reportedly came up. Accompanying President Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. at that meeting was United States Representative Mike Johnson, who has openly expressed support for the United States of Biafra movement. The fact that the matter reached the highest level of diplomatic engagement between Helsinki and Washington, and that an American politician known for backing Biafran separatist aims was present, shows just how international the fallout of one man's decision can be. Of course, there is more to the story than politics and athletics. On a separate front, the people of Anambra State have been shocked by a tragic incident involving a local vigilante group. On the evening of April 16, 2025, at Ibto Junction in Ini local government area, a member of what is locally known as the Agony Chamber Operatives Vigilante Group opened fire on a vehicular holdup. The operative, frustrated by the slow-moving traffic, stepped out of his vehicle and began shooting warning rounds into the air. One of those bullets struck and killed a woman who was standing by the roadside. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time, caught in a hail of lead meant to clear the way for impatient vigilantes rather than confront any genuine threat. When I learned about that shooting, I remembered how swiftly stories of police warning shots can turn into tragedies. In Nigeria, rules permit warning shots, only when an officer's life is in immediate danger or when every other means of controlling a situation has failed. A mere traffic jam does not justify lethal force, yet that is exactly what happened. The Nigerian police force responded by arresting the operative, and a formal investigation is underway. For many residents of Anambra State, the incident has raised questions about the legitimacy of vigilante groups and their role in local security. What started as an attempt to enforce order ended in senseless loss of life, and now the courts must decide how to hold that vigilante member accountable. While that story was unfolding, the Nigerian army released figures showing that only 200 applicants from the entire southeast geopolitical zone registered to join the military when its recruitment portal opened in April of 2025. Considering that the southeast region is home to millions of people, this number represents a startling lack of interest in military service. I spoke with a military analyst who pointed out that perceptions of poor structure, inadequate funding, and outdated equipment have discouraged Southeast youths from enlisting. Over the past few years, images and reports have surfaced showing militant groups operating high-caliber weapons in certain parts of Nigeria, while regular soldiers often carry little more than the standard-issue AK-47. When citizens see such disparities, it undermines confidence in the National Army's capacity and dampens enthusiasm for joining its ranks. It is not just a matter of pride. Low enlistment from the southeast poses strategic challenges for Nigeria's defense posture. The Nigerian army relies on recruits from all regions to maintain a balanced and representative force. When one area lags far behind the others, it risks creating regional imbalances that can be exploited by insurgent groups or undermine unity within the armed forces. Calls for reform have grown louder, with suggestions ranging from boosting military budgets to improving training facilities, and even offering scholarships and career incentives for enlistees. Whether these measures will succeed in reversing the trend remains to be seen, but the discussion is now front and center in Abuja. As I was following those developments, another news item caught my eye. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission announced the arrest of 40 suspected internet fraudsters in Niger State. On its face, such an operation might seem like a victory against cybercrime. Yet, the items seized: 3 cars, 8 electricity generators, 1 high-end air conditioner, 2 power stabilizers, 10 motorcycles, 8 laptop computers, 4 Bluetooth speakers, and 60 Android phones, struck many observers as laughable evidence. How do generators and motorcycles prove fraud? Where is the financial trail, the bank records, the hacked data? Critics have accused the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission of staging showy arrests without gathering the substantive proof needed to secure convictions. Public ridicule followed swiftly on social media and in editorial columns. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission was set up in 2003 to tackle corruption, money laundering, and financial crimes. Over the years, it has overseen high-profile cases and won praise for targeting politically exposed persons. But in recent months, it has faced criticism for what some analysts call arrest without substance. Without tangible evidence, such as email logs, transaction histories, or seized computers containing incriminating data, charges of internet fraud can collapse in court. I have spoken with defense attorneys who are already preparing to challenge these arrests, arguing that possession of household appliances and vehicles is hardly proof of cybercrime. The coming weeks will show whether the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission can back up its headline-grabbing claims with solid legal cases. And yet another twist arrived when the Nigerian Police Force National Cyber Center declared Julia Inji wanted for alleged cybercrime. Julia Inji is the only daughter of Frank Inji, the founder of ABC Transport, one of Nigeria's most respected interstate bus companies. On a Tuesday night in April of 2025, the Cybercrime Unit released a wanted notice that included her photograph and details of the alleged offences. As of now, the specifics of her alleged crimes remain unclear. Was she accused of online fraud, hacking, identity theft, or something else entirely? We simply do not know, and the Nigerian police force has been tight-lipped on key particulars. In the meantime, the story has generated intense speculation and has put Julia Inje's family in a very public and uncomfortable spotlight. For many Nigerians, the pattern is all too familiar. High-profile individuals and their relatives suddenly find themselves under investigation for financial or cyber offences. Sometimes these cases result in convictions. Other times they fizzle out under the weight of legal challenges. It is too early to say which path the Julia Inje case will take, but it underscores the growing role of cybercrime investigation in Nigeria's law enforcement strategy. As the country digitizes its economy and banking systems, digital offences have become a central focus, with dedicated units like the Nigerian Police Force National Cyber Centre tasked with leading the charge. Looking back at all these stories together, the renunciation of athletic medals, the deadly shooting at Ibto Junction, the enlistment crisis in the Nigerian army, the controversial fraud arrests by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and the declaration of a high-profile wanted person for cybercrime, I see a tapestry of a nation grappling with questions of identity, allegiance, justice, and reform. Simon Ekpa's bold move to send back his medals is not just a personal statement. It resonates with broader debates about what it means to be Nigerian, who gets to claim that identity, and how the symbols of national pride can be wielded in both unity and division. Simon Ekpa's bold move to send back his medals is not just a personal statement. It resonates with broader debates about what it means to be Nigerian, who gets to claim that identity, and how the symbols of national pride can be wielded in both unity and division. In my conversations with friends and colleagues across Lagos, Enugu, and Port Harcourt, I have sensed both exhaustion and determination. People are tired of corruption, vigilantism, and violence, yet they also believe in the possibility of change. They want their institutions to act fairly and effectively, whether that means properly vetting evidence of cybercrime, ensuring that security forces operate within the law, or reforming the military so that every citizen feels proud to serve. Simon Ekpa's parcel to President Bola Tinubu may have landed in Aso Rock, but its ripples are felt in every corner of Nigeria. It has forced us to ask, what do we truly value, and what are we willing to do to defend it? I do not pretend to have all the answers. Yet I remain convinced that by shining a light on these events, by talking openly about the returns and rejections, the arrests and the enlistments, the personal and the political, we can spur the conversations that lead to real solutions. Whether through new policies, legal reforms, or simply a renewed commitment to respect for human rights and the rule of law, Nigeria stands at a crossroads. As a nation with a rich history and immense potential, it deserves leaders and citizens alike who will meet these challenges with integrity and courage. And if Simon Ekpa's act of renunciation reminds us of anything, it is that symbols matter, and that sometimes giving something up can open the door to something far greater. This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.